Hi, my name is Andrew Baker, and I will be doing my speech on the oligopoly in the internet service industry. This is my audience, bird, mother, friend, and friend. Okay, so everyone knows what monopoly is thanks to the board game. A monopoly is a controlling of a market by one single entity. If a consumer wants to buy that product that they're selling, they have to go through that entity. Monopolies are illegal, so they are shut down by the government when they are found. An oligopoly, however, is a monopoly except for with multiple entities. They are legal because they're not a monopoly, and but they still accomplish the same things. So I will be talking about how there's an oligopoly in the internet service industry, and so I will be talking about what the internet service providers have to gain from this, some examples of other countries that have better service and better price for their internet. Also, what Google Fiber is, and what some other examples of oligopolies in other markets. So, internet service providers have a lot to gain from working together. They get to control the market, and they also get to eliminate competition for the most part. Without competition, they have no incentive to make a better product for a better price. So they get to control the consumer base for everyone who buys internet. So if you buy internet in the US, you have to buy from pretty much 4 or 5 different corporations, and even less than that, depending on where you live. So they get to have a stable consumer base, and they have no competition. So to start off, the US average internet download speed is around 8 megabits per second, 8 megabytes, sorry. And the price is around, depending on where you live, somewhere from $35 to $50 per month. To compare this to other countries, the UK has a national average of around the same, 8 megabytes per second, and but the price is much lower, around $25 per month. And the Netherlands have around 10 megabytes per second as their average, and of course, depending on where you live, they have an average price of around $30 per month. South Korea is the best example, with arguably the best internet in the world. They have a national average of around 15 to 20 megabytes per second, and they have a price of around $25 to $30 per month. Also, if you live in a certain area in South Korea, such as large cities, you have an option to have a service that has 100 megabytes download speed, megabytes per second download speed, and it's around $35 to $40 per month. Also, the South Korean government has a project going where if you live in certain areas, you get a download speed of around 1 gigabyte per second for about $27 per month. That's pretty crazy for someone who is used to using the internet in the US, because we usually, on a good day, get around 10 to 15 megabytes per second. Google Fiber is an internet service launched by the company Google, and it's still in the starting phases, so it's not around very many places, but it has, where it is, it has around the same speeds as the South Korean government internet, around 1 gigabyte per second, and but the downside is there's a price of around $70 per month. So this shows that there is a possibility for a really fast internet for a lower price once Google Fiber is bigger. Some other examples of oligopolies in other markets are the cellular market, which is controlled by 4 or 5 major companies, such as Verizon, AT&T, and also the television service industry, which is controlled by 4 or 5 companies, such as Time Warner or Comcast. they're oligopolies are somewhat common in the U.S., but only in specific markets. So my big issue with oligopolies is that it goes against what capitalism is founded on. So capitalism, one of the biggest pieces of capitalism is competition. Without competition, there's no point in making a better product for a better price. But with competition, you have a better outcome for the consumer, and also somewhat a better outcome for the best company that makes the best product. So I think that oligopolies should be illegal just as monopolies are, because they accomplish the same goals. So there isn't that much that we can do about it right now, other than informing people of the subject, and also once enough people have been informed of it, passing legislation to ban oligopolies. Another option is to support Google Fiber and other services like it, so that eventually, once they become big enough, they will force the internet service providers that we have now to have better speeds and better prices. Or we could just wait, and that's probably the worst option, but eventually the internet service providers that we have today will realize that there is a demand for really fast internet. So eventually they will catch up. So that's really all I wanted to talk about today. I'm looking forward to watching all of your videos, and see you guys.